Well, I want to ask you one
Oh,
thing else
one
that
more
came
thing.
out of Adam Silver's, one
Oh,
other
okay.
thing that came out of Adam Silver's presser. So, our friend Tanya from the New York Times asked a question about how much
Oh,
it
he had a bad
costs
answer. Bad answer to this one. Yeah.
to be an
This
NBA fan. And I've seen, bits of this online with different people. There was a good tweet that went around Nuggets Twitter for a while about someone literally adding up, hey, this is how much it costs for me to watch the local games on the local network. Is it Altitude? The local network, right?
altitude, which
Because,
Denver's one of the worst. They've had a million problems with their local TV.
right, it's not free, right? So if you pay for cable, yes, you're already paying for cable, but you pay extra for
Yeah.
the sports
Another
channels,
tier.
right?
Yeah.
And you pay extra for ESPN. Or you've cut the cord and you don't subscribe to a cable company, in which case you have to pay Altitude directly. And ESPN has launched this whole independent streaming service. You have to pay ESPN, even if you've cut the cord from your cable company. So that's a cost. By the way, you have to pay for Amazon, and the list kind of goes on and on. NBC, obviously over the air, although how are you getting NBC? Do you have an antenna on your
And
TV,
Peacock.
or
Peacock
does
too. I
that,
mean, it's
right?
that's part of it.
Peacock, you have to pay for. So there's no question it has become more expensive with this new TV deal to be an NBA fan and watch all the games of your favorite team on TV. And he was asked about that. And I don't know, you just said it's a bad answer. Can you tell
His
people what he
answer,
said?
I don't have his direct quote in front of me, but his answer was like, yes, there are certain costs attached to being an NBA fan, but he quickly pivoted to the free streams, which include TikTok, Instagram, and all the social channels. Like
He said, we're a highlight driven sport. We're a
which
highlight.
Rachel is like, he just had a meeting with the heads of NBC, Amazon, and ESPN. Do you think they want to hear that? Like, they're not looking for fans to consume content through social media. They want fans on media. They want fans subscribe. All these guys paid a premium, billions of dollars, $77 billion over 11 years. They're not paying so someone can go on like the Amazon Sports Channel and catch out the highlights of a game. They need people watching games. They need people subscribing to these streaming services and these platforms, driving ratings. Like, I thought that was a funny answer. Like, good question by Tanya, and a well constructed question, I thought, as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Adam saying like, we got it free on social, it's like, that's not where you want people to watch games. In fact, I think that's a problem for the NBA. I think that too many people are watching games that way.
Ask is, there's been a splintering of viewership for the NBA, and everyone can sit there and there's all kinds of people who now have political positions on how the NBA is doing. But cable TV in general, TV viewership in general, everything is splintering apart. We don't watch one thing as a nation anymore. And it's inarguable that less people watch the NBA than they used to, just because less people watch any one thing than they used to. And the question is leaning on the fact that you are a highlight oriented sport, and that leaning on the fact that hey, fans can get it on social media. They can see Anthony Edwards dunk. Is that good for the long-term health of the league? Because to me, watching an entire basketball game is what gets people invested in basketball. Watching an Anthony Edwards highlight on Instagram, the only thing it makes me do if I'm like an average fan out there is buy Anthony Edwards shoes, right? It's not making me a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. So I thought that was a rare misstep for someone who, as you said, speaks carefully. I have seen a huge reaction to it online today, more so than the Kawhi Clippers stuff we just spent however many minutes talking about. And that's why I wanted to bring it up. I do think it's really important to fans. And I think the cost that is associated with all of these streaming services, and I now include ESPN, since a lot of people are going to get them over streaming. That's ESPN's goal. They want you to get them over streaming. So I'm not talking out of school here. That the cost of every game that's not free on NBC. And by the way, a lot of people get their even NBC by having to pay for it. That is a problem. And I think fans are angry about it. And I think that even hardcore fans that are with the league, fans that are dedicated, fans that will defend the NBA and the people in it, right down to the wire. I think those are the people who are angry and upset. And I think the league really has to address that, because if you lose your base, it's just like politics. It's a big problem.
Yeah, and he touched on this at the top of his remarks. While the NBA's national package is a cause for consternation, there's still a ton of money flowing through it. The local TV rights are a catastrophe. They are a catastrophe. You've got a whole bunch of regional outlets that are in bankruptcy, and the NBA hasn't figured it out. You've got some healthy ones, LA, Boston, whatnot, but the vast majority of these regional sports networks are in tough shape, and it's requiring fans to pay extra, fans to struggle to find games. Some teams have tried to get, creative, Phoenix, Utah, put it on free over-the-air TV, but while that has some benefits, there's also you're not getting a lot of money out of that. You're not making a ton of money off that. I think local TV rights are among the biggest problems that Adam, non-Ballmer related, are the biggest problems that Adam is facing, because that's
the whole section now. The Ballmer section of problems and the other section of problems.
It's a big mess. I guess real quick, since we're touching on the Adam stuff, I don't see how this new All-Star format works. I don't care. I think you should take the All-Star game to the back of the barn and shoot it. Just make it the Pro Bowl. I don't know.
I love the All-Star game, and I hate that might actually be the answer.
It's the answer. This idea, when you look at the guys that are most apathetic to this game, we're talking about playing U.S. versus the world, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's the European guys that are most apathetic here. When was the last time you saw Luka Doncic try in an All-Star game?
Luka tries on everything now. Have you seen him in Eurobasket? He's going to be a defensive player.
Loves Eurobasket. Great Eurobasket player. Strapped a bunch of guys from my Y League onto his back and led them deep into that postseason. Nikola Jokic, same thing. Jokic isn't trying in this game. You're not going to get these guys to try. I don't care what you do. You're not going to get these guys to try in an All-Star game. It feels like we're on a hamster wheel where it's all right, we're going round and round and round. New idea, and nothing ever works.
I give Adam credit that he at least acknowledged that, because he said, I know I've stood up here before and said, this is it. We've got it. But I really think this time it's it. We'll have to see if you're right. I love the All-Star game. I've loved it. As a kid, that was one of my favorite things to see. I think that the NBA All-Star game is more important, frankly, than the NFL Pro Bowl or any of the other leagues, because of, the All-Star game in baseball, because the NBA is the most star-driven league in the world, maybe. And that to have a game that celebrates that celebrity and stardom is the essence of celebrating why the NBA is so popular. And if you take that out, if you go take it to the back and shoot it, the problem is you have teams only invested, fans only invested in how well their teams do. And I grew up in Washington, D.C., Chris Mannix. I was not a spoiled Boston fan. And if you are in certain parts of the country and you don't give us that overall star power, people lose interest pretty quickly.
Well, then in that case, just make it East versus West and deal with the fallout. Deal with the blowback, right?
Maybe.
It's mostly
maybe this will work. I don't know.
The ratings are still high. I don't know who's watching this crap, but the ratings are still pretty high comparatively speaking to other NBA games. It still is the highest or one of the highest rated games that the NBA has. What the NBA needs to do then is to just make it East versus West, and then for the 3 days afterwards, disconnect everybody's Twitter account. Do not go on social media and read what people are saying about your All-Star game. Because by the time Wednesday, Thursday rolls around and you're back into the season, nobody's talking about it anymore. Just embrace what it is. Screw it. If guys aren't going to try, that's on them. Let people cook them on social media. The experimentation, I'm just over it. We've tried too many things. Nothing's worked. I don't think nothing will ever work. The great Larry Merchant once said about boxing, to bring it full circle, you can't kill it and you can't save it. All-Star game is the same way. You can't kill it, but you can't save it either.
We'll talk about this more in February. My two fixes are make the All-Star game the first part of the weekend instead of the last part of the weekend, after these guys have already done 14 sponsor obligations, and fill the bowl with fans.
Yeah.
You want people actually saying, why aren't you playing defense? Go back there, as opposed to a bunch of sponsors who are trying to make dinner. Anyway, this is what I think.
Obligations, you say. The obligations, parties aren't part of it too. It's I get that too. It's let's spend 3 days partying in wherever. This year it's in LA, of course. I spent 3 days partying in LA, then Sunday get up for a game and get ready to play the East versus the West versus the world versus somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't kill it, can't save it. That's my take, Rachel.